This is my micro solar power system. It is a hybrid system, meaning it has a 12 volts 15 ampere power supply as a supplemental power to the battery. It is also a grid down system. This system uses a 49 ampere hours battery as a backup battery. It powers my LED 5 watts bulb for the room. It also charges my phone, power banks and some other LED lights in my room. The panel connected here is 40 watts and the 80 watts panel combine to create 120 watts of solar collecting area. I also got a small 20 ampere hours battery for those light and 12 volts water pump for my kitchen. There is also a grid down system on my workshop. This is powered by the 20 ampere hours battery and a 40 ampere hours lead acid battery. And the panel connected there are the 30 watts and 50 watts combined to make 80 watts of solar collecting area. For my solar panels, it is all about the collecting area. I got two 20 watts panel combine in parallel connection to make a 40 watts panel. Also I got a full 30 watts, 50 watts and also a 80 watts panel. Overall my panel together is over 200 watts of collecting area. And all of them are 12 volts because 12 volts are much more economical. All my batteries are sealed lead acid batteries. All 12 volts because sealed lead acid batteries are more economical and safe to use than lithium. Take note, this is a grid down system, not an off-grid system. I am still buying power from Meralco, but I am buying less power from my power company. It is just about the smart use of power. Because power here in my country is expensive. The battery is just a storage and the power supply is just a supplemental power. And some of my devices are direct current. Only my induction cooker, soldering iron, flat iron, rice cooker, blender, angle grinder and my laptop are in the AC grid. Although I like upgrading to lithium-ion batteries, problem is that lithium technologies requires a battery balancer and you can only in specific charge controller for lithium. Talk about charge controllers, I just using a cheap 10 amp PWM charge controller. Nothing too fancy. But this one on my wall has a USB 5 volt output. For charging my power banks, phones and digital cameras. As of now, this is only a grid down system. Not a full off the grid kind of system. Maybe if I got the budget, I will upgrade to lithium iron phosphate type of battery and make it totally off the grid. As of now, this works nicely for me, it keeps my device charged, it keeps my sound system, Wi-Fi router working, it also keeps my lights on automatically at 6 p.m. at night. What more can I ask for? This will be for now my setup. I have plans to increase its capacity to power my laptop and my 12 volts stand fan. Maybe a kilowatt system or more perhaps. You can do solar power system as a grid down system or an off-grid system. It depends on your budget. Here in my country, the solar panels and some PWM charge controllers are cheap. It make you starting up doing solar power quickly. The only thing that is expensive here is the lead acid batteries. This is just to look on my solar power system here. It is not very big, but it gets the job done. For my purpose, it is just a grid down system, not an off-grid one. I am not an electrical engineer, but I just love doing solar power, batteries and charge controller. Anyone can get their feet wet on solar power. It depends on your needs, your purpose, and how you intend to use your solar power. And take note, solar panels and some charge controllers are cheap, but batteries are expensive. If you want to do a grid down system, everything about solar power, it depends on your location, needs and what you want to power. That is my advice to you all who wants to do grid down solar. Take my advice, and you will have a successful solar power system.